Hey guys, how you doing? This is probably going to be the first of what I hope is a long line of films, or videos rather, so to speak, on one subject I love particularly, which is football, and in particular my favourite football team, or rather the team I support, which is an old Charlton Athletic. Now, good old, of course, being a pejorative for affection doesn't really mean so much that we're good. I mean, we're right now currently languishing in League One when we realistically should at least be a championship side. But I just made this because we drew tonight with Oldham Atheltic, and I'm starting to think what kind of a state this club is in, considering the fact that we are probably the biggest team right now in League One, and we can't beat a team like Oldham, who have had a shockingly bad start to the season. And a few years ago, they were in League Two, keep in mind. They are shite. I'm not trying to insult any Oldham Athletic fans out there, but let me make this clear. Oldham Athletic are fucking terrible. They are pants. Right? They fucking nicked their fucking nickname from fucking Sheffield Wednesday, and they are shite. You have to just look at their record to see how bad they are. And as bad as Charlton have also been at the start of this season, we've at least had a more consistent set of form. Okay, we've drawn way more too many games than we should have done, but regardless of that, we still have way more money, way more size, and way more capacity to do with, whatever we may want, to, I'd say, at least finish second in League One this season. But the thing is, looking at our current state of form in terms of how we've actually been performing in real life rather than theoretically, I don't really know if that's a possibility. I don't even know if we'll end up in the playoff positions, because, to be honest with you, we are easily the biggest team in this league, aside from maybe, I'd say, probably Millwall and Wimbledon, actually, as well. Those two teams are heftily sized, but even then, I'd still say Charlton is probably the biggest team in the league. And the fact that with that amount of money and support, we can't really even string together a consistent set of wins against teams that we should be beating, and that last year, when we were in the Championship, that we would have easily been, considering that we had a team that should have kept us up, but, didn't. Thanks for that, guys, having one of the shitest defences in English football that year. But I just don't know. It just really makes me wonder sometimes what the hell that just slimy, scheming son of a gun who owns this crap hole of a club, Roland Duchatalet, is doing. He has quite clearly put no effort into proactively involving himself in the betterment of this club, and is just using it as a cash cow, because if he was actually putting his money into it and pumping as much dollar as he could into this club, which is easily the biggest club out of the many football clubs that he does own, then he would realise that he could also make a significant effort while promoting the Charlton brand to a point where it could possibly even prove to be a contender for promotion to the Premier League. Now, am I saying that will happen? No, because they've clearly shown this current regime that they don't give a shit about the fans. They don't give a shit about the club or its colours or its history since they took over in 2013. Why is that? Because since they've taken over, they've made this shite claim that they've been improving Charlton's form since that they took over. And you know what's happened? We've gotten worse every single fucking season after they've taken over. Now we're in League One, and we can't even beat a shite team like Oldham Athletic. When they took over, we were in the FA Cup quarter-finals. We were buying players from teams like Spurs and shit like that, and loaning in players from Arsenal. And now we're in League One, failing to beat Oldham Athletic, losing to Wimbledon, who've only just been promoted from League Two. It's just... we haven't won a game in almost a month. in League One, the third tier of English football. This isn't exactly the hotspot for quality, is it? I mean, God Lord. I'm just thinking of, like, what would happen if someone like, say, Aston Villa or Newcastle, who are also going through a stage transition, what if they get relegated again this season from the Championship down to League One? That would just be catastrophic. But I find myself thinking that Charlton are kind of in a weirdly similar situation to them. You know, a strong, rich history, and, you know, interspersed with periods of intermittent sort of instability, you know, punctuated by shite managers or the occasional good player who has to prop up a really average or shite team. I mean, you look at Villa in the 80s, or Newcastle in the late 90s, Charlton in the early 2000s. It's eerily similar, really, in a way, and I feel like the only way that we'll be able to get ourselves out of this rut is either A, if the current owners of Charlton get their fingers out their bumholes, stop using it as a storing place for their players from their other clubs, and actually put some cash into the team and improve it by buying some proven English League players. Or, more realistically, they could just sell up to someone who's a bit more reputable and has a bit more interest in improving the club itself rather than lining their pockets. Because, quite clearly, as shown by a dire performance against Oldham tonight, it's quite clear that the current owners are not putting enough effort into improving the team. So, mark my words, if they do not improve the team in the January transfer window, we may not be in with a chance of getting back into the Championship. I don't know, we could very well get promoted, but considering our current form, I really don't know. I mean, a short while back we lost a 1-0 lead to Wimbledon and lost 2-1, and then tonight we lost a 1-0 lead against Oldham and drew 1-1. So, considering the fact that we keep giving up considerable leads to teams that are far worse than we are, I just feel like unless the owners put enough money into this club to really make it a significant force like it was in 2011 when we actually won the League One title by, you know, finishing with the highest points out of any professional league in Europe that season, then there's realistically no chance, or we'll probably just spend the next couple of years just mouldering and stagnating in League One. I don't think we're really bad enough to get relegated to League 2 just yet, but at the same time, with the current state the team is, I don't see us getting into the Championship again anytime soon. So, realistically, I would say that our best hope right now is to sell up and give the club to someone who has a bit more of a reputable interest in English football. So, yeah, I don't know. I just fancy making this rant because I've just been keeping up to date with the results of the Oldham Atheltic game tonight at the Valley, and I just felt like I had to say something. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, and also, another thing, actually, Katrina, you know, our CEO, if you're thinking of joining the FA's council, don't. You are easily the most backstabbing person at Charlton right now, aside from Roland Duchatalet. So, do us all a favour and keep your silver-lined snake tongue out of the FA, because it's a job you, quite frankly, don't deserve, as well as pretty much any other job to do with football. Do you understand? Alright? Good. Oh dear, oh dear. Sorry, I know this was unstructured, but I'm sorry, guys. I had to make this rant. It's been pissing me off as a considered Charlton fan for a long time, and after the disappointing season we had last season, we realistically should be doing better this season, but by looking at it, we're not. So I felt like I had to say something. I might call this little show something like Angry Addick or something along those lines, but who knows? Maybe you guys can give me a bit of feedback, and we'll see where this goes if I ever make any more videos on Charlton. I'd like to, actually, because that would be interesting, but yeah, hopefully we won't draw 1-1 again this weekend, but who knows? Considering it's Charlton, it's kind of like throwing a six-sided die into a pit of fire and reaching in with a bare naked hand. So who knows? It's up to anything, really, isn't it? Until next time, I've been Titan Ted, or the Angry Addick, or whatever I may call this show. And until next time, I hope you guys have had fun watching this video. I'll see you next time, and be sure to check out my other channels, my Twitter and my blogspot in the video description below. Bye bye for now.